869 King Edmund of East Anglia. 967 Abu al-Faraj al-Isfahani, Arabic author, Book of Legern, dies. In 1348 Stefano Colonna, Roman senator, dies in battle against Roman revolutionaries by Porta Tiburtina. In 1437 Thomas Langley, Bishop of Durham, Cardinal and Lord Chancellor b. 1363. In 1480 Eleonor of Scotland, daughter of James I of Scotland, and consort of Sigismund Archduke of Austria, regent and translator, dies in childbirth at 46 or 47. In 1518 Marmaduke Constable, English soldier, Battle of Flodden, dies after swallowing a frog, at about 61. In 1518 Pierre de la Rue Acker Peter van Straten, Franco-Flemish Renaissance singer and composer, dies at about 66, birth date unconfirmed. In 1527 Wendel Noot Weentjen Kleesdochter, first Dutch woman burned as heretic. In 1529 Karl von Miltitz, German papal nuncio, met with Martin Luther, drowns at about 39. In 1591 Christopher Hatton, English politician b. 1540. In 1612 John Harington, English Elizabethan courtier, writer Orlando Furioso and inventor of the flush toilet, dies at about 52. In 1651 Mikołaj Potocki, Polish soldier who fought Cossack rebellions, dies at about 56. In 1662 Archduke Leopold Wilhelm of Austria, governor of the Spanish Netherlands b. 1614. In 1669 Arnold Geulincx, Flemish philosopher cholera, dies at 45. In 1675 Francisco de Corterial, Spanish Viceroy of Sardinia, and governor of Habsburg Netherlands 1664-68. In 1678 Karel Dujardin, Dutch painter and etcher learned dog, dies at about 56. In 1704 Charles Plumier, French botanist Frangipani genus Plumeria is named after him, dies at 58. In 1713 Thomas Tompion, English clockmaker, cylinder tunnel, dies at 74. In 1737 Caroline of Brandenburg-Ansbach, German-born Queen of Great Britain, consort to King George Roman II, dies at 54. In 1741 Melchior de Polignac, French diplomat, cardinal and poet, dies at 80. In 1750 Giuseppe Sammartini, Italian oboe virtuoso and late Baroque early classical composer who served the court of the Prince of Wales, dies at 55, exact date uncertain, 3 days. In 1750 Wilhelmus Schortinghuis, Dutch theologist, profound Christianity, dies at 50. In 1758 Johan Helmich Roman, Swedish violinist, conductor, Swedish Royal Orchestra, and composer Drottningholm music, known as the Swedish Handel, dies at 64. In 1764 Christian Goldbach, German mathematician, Goldbach position, dies at 74. In 1778 Francesco Cetti, Italian Jesuit priest and scientist, dies at 52. In 1827 Alexey Titov, Russian composer, dies at 58. In 1851 Wenzel Sedlak, Bohemian clarinetist and composer, dies at 75. In 1856 Farkas Bolyai, Hungarian mathematician known for his work on the foundations of geometry and the parallel axiom Wallace-Bolyai-Jerwin theorem, dies at 81. In 1863 James Bruce, 8th Earl of Elgin Kincardine and Governor Jamaica, dies at 52. In 1871 Nathan Kelley, American architect active mainly in Ohio State House, dies at 63. In 1882 Béla Kéler, Hungarian conductor, composer Erinnerung and Bartwald, the Carpathians, and violinist, dies at 62. American amateur astronomer, photos of the moon, Orion Nebula, dies of pleurisy at 45. In 1887 Louis Gallait, Belgian historical painter Edmond Receiver, dies at 77. In 1888 Nathaniel Currier, American lithographer Currier Ives, dies at 75. In 1889 August Alquist, Finnish poet Suomalainen Runasoppi, dies at 63. In 1898 John Fowler, English engineer for London Metropolitan Railway, world's first underground railway, dies at 81. In 1907, Paula Modersohn-Becker, German expressionist painter, first known woman to paint nude self-portraits, dies after childbirth at 31. In 1908, Georgy Voronoi, Russian mathematician, Voronoi diagram, dies at 40. In 1917, Alfredo Napolo dos Santos, Portuguese pianist and composer, dies at 65. In 1924, Ebenezer Cobb Morley, English sportsman, drafted first FA rules, dies at 93. In 1925, Alexandra, Danish princess and Queen of Great Britain, consort to Edward Roman VII, dies at 80. 1927, Carl Wilhelm Stenhammar, Swedish composer considered the finest Swedish pianist of his time, dies of a stroke at 56. In 1934, Willem de Sitter, Dutch scientist and cosmologist, developed theoretical models of the universe based on Albert Einstein's general theory of relativity, dies at 62. Spanish fascist politician and founder of Falange Española, executed for conspiracy and military rebellion at 33. In 1938, Edwin Hall, American physicist, discovered Hall effect, dies at 83. In 1938, Enzo Matsunaga, Japanese writer, b. 1895. In 1938, Maud of Wales, Queen of Norway, spouse of King Haakon Roman VII, dies at 68. In 1939, D. Serpiquet, Belgian organist, composer, and pedagogue, dies at 72. In 1944, Sekio Nishiner, Japanese inventor, Kaiten suicide submarine, dies at 21. In 1945, Francis William Aston, British chemist and physicist who won a Nobel laureate for his work with isotopes and the whole number rule, dies at 68. In 1947, Wolfgang Borchardt, German writer, dies at 26. In 1950, Francesco Cetti, Italian orchestral and opera composer, Adriano Lecouvreur, dies at 84. In 1951, Thomas Quinlan, English opera impresario, dies at 70. In 1952, Benedetto Croce, Italian philosopher and politician, La Critiker, dies at 86. In 1954, Clyde Cessna, American aviator and airplane manufacturer, dies at 74. In 1957, Mstislav Dobrzynsky, Russian-Lithuanian artist, dies at 82. In 1957, Weldon Hart, American composer, commits suicide at 46. In 1959, Alfonso López Pumarejo, 16th President of Colombia, Liberal, 1934-38 and 1942-46, and statesman, President of UN Security Council 1948, dies at 73. In 1960, Yaakov Kahan, Hebrew poet and writer, dies at 79. In 1962, Jasper McLevy, American politician, socialist, mayor of Bridgeport, Connecticut, 1933-57, dies at 84. In 1964, John Tasker Howard, American composer and music historian, dies at 73. In 1968, Kathy Lewis, American actress, Stager Hazel, dies of cancer at 50. In 1968, Helen Gardner, American silent film actress, Sandra, dies at